other either.
Good evening, wrestling fans. We're your hosts, Lewis
and Jaden, and this is
Evolution of Pro Wrestling. Welcome back, fans. This is going to be an excellent show. WrestleMania special. This is WrestleMania weekend. Greatest moments of all time. We're going to have some of the greatest moments that we're going to be talking about. We're about to welcome our guest that he was here before for greatest wrestlers of all time. We welcome him back, Brian Montalvo. Let's invite him in. Approve. He's coming in. There he is. Welcome back, sir. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Brian? Can you hear us?
Okay, yeah, now I can hear you guys.
All right, welcome. WrestleMania, man. You know that's our event. And look at that, he even got a special haircut for the occasion. Check him out. Yeah. For WrestleMania. Look, we got WrestleMania shirts just for the occasion. WrestleMania.
I
Old
got the
school
haircut. I
warrior,
got the.
the old school shirt, man.
I like the shirts, man. I like the shirts. Old school.
Yeah, man. Brian, you know WrestleMania. We've seen pretty much almost every single WrestleMania there is to be. You know the moments we've seen in WrestleMania.
Yep.
The one I'm gonna bring up, which I know is gonna piss you off so much, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Oh man.
Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. When the streak came to an end. We know that caught everything. You caught everybody by surprise. Tell
Man,
us
that
about
was
it.
heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking. Um, you know, that's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, by all means, no question. So when that loss happened, just like everyone else in the audience, their face was stunned, and man, that was a hard hit right there. So I'm just glad he didn't call it quits after that, though. But that was a huge moment.
No, definitely was huge in the WrestleMania moment. It was also another moment which, not to come down on the Undertaker, when he lost to Roman Reigns, but I wouldn't say as a loss because I would say that's passing the torch over to the younger generation. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? Just like in WrestleMania 6, you remember
Yep.
Hulk Hogan and
Yep.
the Ultimate Warrior.
Yes.
Hulk Hogan passing on the torch to the Ultimate Warrior, which a lot of people thought Hulk Hogan was going to win, but surprisingly, the Ultimate Warrior pinned him cleanly and took over.
Right.
You know,
Right.
what's your favorite WrestleMania moment that you can remember, Jaden?
My favorite WrestleMania moment that I can remember is when Seth Rollins cashes in the Money in the Bank.
That was a good one.
Now, what
That
makes
was a
that
pretty good
such
match
a
right there.
great WrestleMania moment is that he caught everyone by surprise. No one expected Seth Rollins to do that, and to top it off was that he came back from an injury. That's when he returned to cash in his Money in the Bank.
No,
So
and word has it, he was the first ever Money in the Bank to cash it in at WrestleMania. So
Right.
that's what caught people's
yeah,
attention,
that's
that
what my
it
big
was against
surprise.
Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar,
Yeah.
and he did it against Brock Lesnar. So when you talk about a WrestleMania moment, that really stands out. Now, there's one I can remember when Edge put Mick Foley through a fire table.
Whew.
Man, listen, I remember
That,
I don't know where I was. I don't know if I was home or if I was in your house watching that, but I know when that happened, I flipped out. I marked out. I couldn't believe what was going on, and that was
Yeah.
no,
awesome.
at that time, that's when they came back and told Mick Foley, Mick, you got your WrestleMania moment. Because he
Right.
really didn't have a WrestleMania moment until he fought Edge and made that legendary. You
Right.
know, and that's what made it so special, that two icons as those two, which are Hall of Famers now, you
Hmm.
know, made it special. You
Hmm.
know, but you also have one that I remember that I was in total shock.
Hmm.
Stone Cold Steve Austin aligning himself with Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 17.
Who would have thought? Who would have
Nobody.
thought?
Nobody. And that was a big Stone
Yeah,
Cold in the Attitude Era.
yeah,
So those two hated each other. And for them to join forces, that was like, wow,
yeah.
what now? What's gonna happen? Like we had a new alliance, then adding Triple H to that alliance is what made it even better of a
Absolutely.
WrestleMania movie.
Yeah,
You know, we've seen many. Remember WrestleMania 19 when Roddy Piper returned out of nowhere to
yeah,
attack Hulk Hogan when he fought Vince McMahon.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that was a big one. And I remember Jaden telling me he remembers the end of an era. Can you tell us about that with Triple H against The Undertaker at Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, oh, that was a crazy match. The end of an era was
Yeah.
a great WrestleMania moment. Like those two basically went at it, you know. But at the end of the match, they called the truce, and
Yeah.
that's back when Undertaker had the streak going before
Mhm.
it was ended
Right.
by Brock
Yeah, I
Lesnar.
agree.
So that was a really good moment.
Hold on, it's cutting off a little bit. My sound's cutting off a little bit. Um, when I saw that match against sorry, hold on. When I saw that match with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and Shawn Michaels being a guest referee and Triple H, that that was as it was end of an era, and I was glad to be able to see that because there's not those guys are not around anymore, and I'm hearing that this may actually be an end of an era for Triple H this coming WrestleMania Sunday too, because he's got his
Yeah,
career on the
a lot
line.
of people are speculating about that, and
Right.
it's tough. But if you had a chance to pick one, what would be your favorite moment at WrestleMania?
There's quite a few of them, man. There's quite a few of them. But I mean, going way back, you know, um, I would have to say the legendary one where Hulk Hogan body slams Andre the Giant, WrestleMania
That
3.
was a great
No,
one.
that was
That was
not over
phenomenal.
93,000 fans. I was a kid watching that, and
Me too.
that's what
Yeah.
inspired me to watch wrestling even more. When I saw that body slam, like nobody would have ever thought he was going to do it. And
Yeah.
that also was another passing of the torch from
Hmm.
Andre the Giant to Hulk Hogan, because Andre the
Yeah.
Giant was undefeated for 15 years.
Right.
So it was a special moment for both of them.
I mean,
As
it was a body slam. It was a body slam heard around the world. People nowadays they may want, oh, you watch wrestling? I don't watch that stuff. It's fake. But back then it was a lot more serious. So that body slam really turned the tables for what it is now, and they still use it when you tune in to watch the shows. That's one of the first things you see is Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant. So that by far has to be one of my favorite
Yeah,
best moments.
no. And you talk about Hulk Hogan. Remember, he was in the first WrestleMania with
Right.
him, Mr. T, against Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper, which a
Right. Right.
lot of people thought was going to fail. Excuse me, but it actually became a success because looking now, 35 years later, WrestleMania is at its peak.
Yeah.
So when you talk about a moment like that, Hulk Hogan is the icon of WrestleMania. And when you talk about icons, I remember WrestleMania 30 when The Rock, Hulk Hogan, and Stone Cold opened up the show in one ring. Three icons in one ring. That to me was
Yeah.
an excellent WrestleMania moment that I would never forget. Unfortunately, that
Right.
was the
Yeah.
same year that Undertaker lost the streak, but
Yeah.
in the beginning, those three icons you can never forget. Three different
Right.
eras, all respected in the business, all did something
Hmm.
in the business,
Yeah.
and it what transcended this business to today.
Hmm.
And you talk about The Rock and Hulk Hogan. Remember, they had their legendary match at WrestleMania too.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah.
A lot of people were cheering for Hulk Hogan, which people were surprised about it because The Rock was a fan favorite.
Yeah.
So you remember, we were watching this.
Which one?
One that was our favorite when we saw it, when The Undertaker returned at WrestleMania 20 as the Phenom.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was actually
watching WrestleMania.
I was just watching that earlier today. You know, because that's one of my favorite moments. Like I said, he's one of the main guys for me. So when I saw that, yeah, I was it was
Before
crazy when he
Kane.
came back. Yeah,
He came back in for Kane. And another moment in that same WrestleMania 20 was when Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit embraced each other.
yeah,
Like saying, this is it. Like, we finally made it. We're champions. We worked hard. We finally did it, you know?
yeah,
And
yeah. When Chris Benoit won that belt from Triple H, that was a great win for Chris Benoit, and also a great win for Eddie Guerrero because they come from nothing. They come from the bottom of from ECW, from WCW, and now they're both at the top at the same time. So that was
yeah,
great.
no, it was definitely history. History was
Hmm.
made. And when you also talk about history, we mentioned when Roddy Piper came back, to attack Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 19. But that
Yeah.
was the same time that it was 20 years in the making of Hulk Hogan versus Vince McMahon, which
Mm.
surprisingly, that match was a watchable match.
You serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, that match it was a good match. They were bloody
Wow.
pulp, both of them.
Wow.
They
Yeah.
used ladders and chairs and belts,
That's
and
like an extreme match.
it was.
Yeah.
It was a really good match.
It's a
We
great
saw
match.
it.
Yeah.
We actually saw it. And also we saw when the Stone Cold era began.
Yeah.
When he became the WWE champion and he beat Shawn Michaels, that's what transcended Stone Cold's career to new
Hmm.
heights. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean?
Yeah.
And
Now, okay, going back to extreme moments, this is an extreme WrestleMania moment that I'm pretty sure no one has ever forgot. When Edge speared Jeff Hardy off of the
oh
ladder.
man,
That was when I saw that, that blew my mind. Like,
WrestleMania 17,
that blew my mind.
TLC.
I
Yeah.
did not expect
Oh
Edge to
man,
do that.
that was
Edge put his body on the line big time. Like,
no, that
Yeah.
was
I mean,
yeah, that
as
was
many
amazing.
as many times as we've seen many people still, do spears on people from a ladder. I mean, come on, that's to a whole new level right there.
of course. That's like, man,
And the crazy part about it was that Jeff Hardy was hanging onto the titles, and he speared him
Yeah.
off the ladder on the ring while Jeff Hardy was hanging onto the titles.
no. And then that same match, they push what was it, Matt Hardy
Matt
and
Hardy and Devon Dudley, I
no,
think.
Yeah.
Bubba Ray Dudley
Bubba
onto the
Ray.
tables.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yep.
And when you see stuff like that, it makes you want to be like, wow,
It makes
I
you get
want
out
to
your seat.
get makes you exactly
Yeah.
makes you get out your seat. And that
Yeah.
same event at WrestleMania 17 marked Stone Cold and The Rock for the second
Hmm.
time. But
Right.
remember, they fought the first time. I believe it was WrestleMania 15. I believe or 14. I believe 15.
I think it's
And
15. Yeah.
that feud, like they were going at it. Like they winner took all. And this was a
Yeah.
battle for supremacy with these two. And
Mm.
seeing those two battle the way they did at WrestleMania, it just made it more exciting. Like, wow, who's
Yeah.
gonna win this? They're both a fan favorite. They're
Hmm.
both at the peak of their career.
Right.
What's gonna happen?
You got
So
you got one half of the stadium that are Stone Cold fans. You got the other half of the stadium that are Rock fans, and they're both icons within that
exactly,
time. To mesh
exactly,
them together, man, it was like buttered popcorn, man. It just goes great.
exactly. No,
Yeah.
no. When you talk about matches like that, a one that stands out, a moment that I will never forget at WrestleMania 3. To this day, they still say it was the match of the year, best match of all time in any WrestleMania. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against the Macho Man Randy Savage. By
That
far, to this day,
classic.
the best intercontinental title match, non-main event I've ever seen
Yeah.
at WrestleMania. Both of
Classic.
them gave it their all. They stole the show. They pretty much stole the show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Besides the Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant match.
Yeah.
They went all out. They took over. They did a lot of technical wrestling. They pretty much brawled, and they
Yeah.
they put it all out there. And I don't think there's any other match that couldn't live up to the hype with that, except one,
Hmm.
the Iron Man match between Bret Hart and Shawn
Bret Hart.
Michaels.
Yes.
That
Yes.
match, 1 hour of two of the greatest athletes I've
hour.
ever seen.
That was one match that you did not want to get up from your seat. If you had to use the bathroom, hold it, because
Yeah,
that
no, it's
match was
true.
just
It's
that
true.
good. Yeah, it was that good.
It was 1 hour, no pinfalls.
Wow.
Nobody had a
Mhm.
pinfall at the end of the time limit. And eventually they went into sudden death, and Shawn Michaels had the win. You
Right.
know, and
Wow.
one that I saw with Jaden, which was heartbreaking as well, when Undertaker ended Shawn Michaels' career.
Oh yeah, that was.
Mm,
Shawn Michaels, one of they don't call him Mr. WrestleMania for nothing. You
right.
know, the man proved that he can go with the best. He can do what he got to do in the ring, and it was sad to see him go.
I mean, I thought Shawn Michaels was gonna win that match.
No,
I'm not knocking off the Undertaker,
listen,
but I thought Shawn Michaels.
if there was someone that would have ended the streak of the Undertaker, I would have preferred Shawn Michaels
Yeah,
instead
and
of
you
Brock
know,
Lesnar.
and honestly, the whole build up to that secondary match, because we all know they had two matches, and he lost both of them. But that build up to the second match, where it was compromising the friendship between Triple H and Shawn Michaels, that was meaningful, and and it was great how Shawn Michaels actually came down from the sky dressed all
Yeah.
in white, completely opposite from the Undertaker. Like,
Yeah, I
it's the good
know.
and the bad.
That was amazing, man.
Yeah,
It
that
was
was.
like and what? No, oh man, what I remember as a kid at WrestleMania 8, when the Ultimate Warrior returned at the end to save Hulk Hogan. I went nuts. I went crazy when I seen that. Like,
That
I'm like, what?
song, when that song hit, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
No, I went crazy.
Now
The pop behind that.
speaking of going crazy, I had a moment that made me go absolutely insane. WrestleMania 33, when the Hardy Boys returned for that ladder match.
Man.
I jumped up out of my couch so fast when they returned. Woo! I got so excited.
No, and
when
nobody
they
knew
returned.
about it.
Nobody.
Knew
That was
that they
No
were
one knew
returning.
about it.
It was a full surprise for everybody that they were
Yeah.
they were there.
I
And
mean, there were rumors flying around because we all know that Matt Hardy was in TNA and his contract was done. He finished, and then there was talks about Jeff Hardy coming back. So it was rumors, but the fans really didn't expect it to be happening. And when it did, like Jaden said, it was amazing. It was amazing.
yeah, no, it was definitely amazing. And it's what caught my attention at WrestleMania 31. The NWO finally met DX. That was history right there. Like nobody, it was pretty much WCW, WWE. When
Right.
Sting fought Triple H was also a historic match, historic
Yeah.
moment, because it was
Right.
the first time ever that Sting ever stepped foot in a WWE ring.
WWE, right.
So that was historic, you know. And when you talk about stuff like that, when it comes to Jada had mentioned a TLC match.
Hmm.
Remember that Shawn Michaels was the first one to introduce the ladder match at
Right.
WrestleMania 10 against
Hmm.
Razor Ramon. So, and that was by far the match that stole the show at WrestleMania 10.
Yeah.
Man, I was just thinking about that match, and I remember as a kid sitting down eating dinner, and I was watching that particular match, that whole event, but that particular match, man, my food must have got cold because I didn't leave my eyes off the screen because that match was that good. I couldn't believe it. That was one hell of a match, and there's actually I think on YouTube there's a video of them now present day with them watching that match now and commenting on it, and so I saw it. It's actually pretty interesting. Yeah.
No, but that same WrestleMania, another moment was when Owen Hart beat Bret Hart, which a lot of people weren't expecting to do that.
Yeah.
Which we wish we could have seen Owen Hart in the Hall of Fame with the Hart Foundation.
Right.
But what can we do? But that was a moment that a lot of people enjoyed because Owen Hart was such a talented athlete that I'm still surprised he's not in the Hall of
Right.
Fame yet. You know what I mean? One that's
Yeah.
funny. It's a funny moment, but it's a moment when Yokozuna won the match and then lost the match. won the
Yeah.
WWE title to Bret Hart, and then
Yeah.
seconds later lost the title to Hulk Hogan. I didn't
Yeah.
understand. Like
So how
that
did
was
that go exactly?
Yokozuna cheated.
Yeah. He threw
Mr.
the
Fuji
salt in the
threw
eyes.
salt in his eyes, and then he leg dropped him and pinned him.
Yeah.
Then Hulk Hogan came out and started telling the referee, this is what happened, blah blah blah. And then Mr. Fuji challenged Hulk Hogan, come in the ring, I give you
Right.
the title shot. Came in,
Right.
clotheslined him. Well, he threw salt at Hulk Hogan, but missed and hit Yokozuna.
Right.
Hulk Hogan clotheslined him, hit the leg drop.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan champion again, yay!
Yeah.
It was. I think they stole the moment in the main event, but it was a funny main event.
Funny,
It was a moment.
yeah.
And in that same WrestleMania, Jaden, I don't know if you saw this, but in that same WrestleMania, and I speak a lot about The Undertaker, like I said, he's the man. He had his crazy match against Giant Gonzalez. That man was like 8 feet tall.
7'7", big
Yeah.
guy. He was really good. He was really big. But Undertaker made history and took him out.
Yes.
And a lot of people didn't think he was gonna win. But
Yeah.
the one that was my favorite when Hulk Hogan returned at WrestleMania 21. The crowd went crazy.
Yeah, that was a hell of a pop. Yeah,
it was a big pop. Like I looked at it like, holy cow! Like what is going on?
Yeah.
Like this is insane.
Yeah.
And when we looked, that was that same pay-per-view that Batista beat Triple H. That's what transcended Batista's career to new heights. That was a moment that nobody thought they were going to see Batista come out of that shell of evolution, and he just took over.
Yeah.
Right.
He became the animal, and that's what made his career to new heights, and he kept going from there. He fought Triple H in a Hell in a Cell. He fought Triple H in a Last Man Standing. These guys had a war.
And they have a new upcoming match coming up,
which we're going to discuss that before the show ends. You know what I mean? And you also have one particular reunion at WrestleMania 7 when the Macho Man reunited with Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah.
Even though his career was gone, he still got his woman at the end. Which was a WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
Not too many people could say that. One moment that sticks out that I think is gonna happen this Sunday. The underdog is gonna take it. Daniel Bryan won the title at WrestleMania 30 against Randy Orton and Batista. Nobody thought that was gonna happen.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He was beat down by Triple H in the beginning when he fought him, and then it just looked worse for him. Yeah. And then he ended up winning. He made Batista tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kofi's gonna take this, and I say this because I think about a lot about how the journey of these wrestlers come back. Daniel Bryan has been down a long journey, a long road, and he's done unimaginable things, and he was actually able to come back from a career-ending injury, and he did everything. He brought back Team Hell No. All right, he had great matches. Became champion again. Then he became a heel. So I think at this point now he may be calling it quits as a WrestleMania, and Kofi Kingston may actually get his moment and become champion. That's my prediction.
No, that's something we're looking forward to for history to be made at WrestleMania.
That'd be extremely crazy.
That's another moment we want to see. And
yeah.
I also remember the first ever Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 21. It was historic when Edge won that Money in the Bank. Like, not too many people thought he was going to win, but when he won that Money in the Bank, that's what transcended his career. That's what made him go up to new heights and beat John Cena for the title at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, pretty much WrestleMania is a pay-per-view that can make you or break you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Always history is being made at WrestleMania. You never know what to happen.
There's a lot of surprises too.
We spoke about The Undertaker possibly coming out as the American Badass.
Yeah.
A lot
That's
of
a
people are wanting to see that. Some people like, they're in the fence about it. Let's keep him as
yeah.
the phenom.
Well, there's
We
already
not.
yeah, there's already some photos surfacing that he's already here in New York. He's here.
Yeah.
And yeah, they haven't promoted any matches, but I'm either thinking that maybe someone's gonna call him out in a random match, or he's just gonna really make an appearance and become that character again. And you know what? That'll be great. You know, he's like a hybrid, this guy. You know, he's got the demonic looking, Prince of Death and Darkness and stuff like that. Then you got the American Badass. I think he's gonna come out with that character.
No,
Yeah.
it's
And
unpredictable.
And also, another thing I heard, which we spoke about earlier, was the Raw Tag Team titles.
Yeah.
From what I heard and what I read, that they made new Raw Tag Team titles, and it may
News.
be,
Oh, really?
yeah, it may be similar to the female titles, of course, the male versions of it, or maybe not, maybe completely different. And the SmackDown titles are gonna look the same with just the side plates that are gonna be added onto it. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty
We'll
cool.
see. It's and they're saying that this WrestleMania they're making history as the longest pay-per-view ever.
Yeah. What time are they
They
starting?
saying
Like six
they're
o'clock?
saying it can go to 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well,
I'm like, I
they
don't
got
know. If they're to 1 o'clock, if you're a true fan, then yeah, you might
yeah.
be up there. But
We're looking at what, like 16, 17 matches already, I think.
no, at least 16 matches
Yeah, just
confirmed. You know what
about.
I mean? And
Yeah.
it's one. I'm really looking forward to these matches, and we were all talking about it. Me,
Yeah.
Jaden, my wife, and
Mhm.
there's many matches that are standing out that we want to watch. And
Right.
one match that I also stands out to me twice before we get
Mhm.
into the predictions of our matches of WrestleMania.
Mhm.
The Rock versus John Cena
On 2
on
occasions.
2 occasions, and we were there at
Mhm.
WrestleMania 29 when we saw the second bout.
Yeah, we did. Mhm.
Once in a lifetime. The first time when they fought in Miami,
Mhm.
nobody thought they were gonna fight again until The Rock won the World Heavyweight title,
Yeah.
and then we saw it again. And me and Brian actually went to WrestleMania. That was one of our dreams to go to
Yeah.
WrestleMania. We
Yeah.
made history and went to WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yeah. We did. That was fun.
Was The Rock basically doing a passing of the torch to John Cena during a second match?
I would probably say yeah. In my opinion, he was probably passing the torch over. Like here, the floor is yours. Like
I mean, I think it was. I can agree to that, but I think it was a little long overdue because I mean, the John Cena had done so much prior to that match already happening, you know. But I look at it as the passing of the torch to John Cena. Yeah, definitely.
yeah. No, it was good. It was a good match. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that WrestleMania 29 was pretty impressive when we
Yeah.
went.
Yeah.
We saw CM Punk and The Undertaker also making
Right.
history that night. It was a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Um, but we're looking forward to watching WrestleMania 35, and we know there's going to be a lot of
Definitely.
surprises. Now,
Yeah.
we're going to come into the predictions. We're going to make our predictions. We all have one.
I got a good prediction.
We're going to have, first off, we have the Revival against Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. What are your thoughts on who's going to take that?
Kurt Hawkins. Wait, repeat that one more time.
Kurt Hawkins and
Kurt
Zack Ryder
Hawkins.
against the Revival
I
for the
think the
tag team
Revival
titles.
was gonna win that. Now, I was seeing the Revival fight on Raw, and they did like absolutely tremendous. Like the Revival is like a complete great tag team. So I think they're gonna take that one for WrestleMania.
I would have to say Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. I think their time is due, and I think they're gonna take those titles away. What do you think, Brian?
I'd have to agree with you, Lewis, because I take nothing away from the Revival. Great tag team, very old fashioned, type of tag team you want as champions. But Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, they've been a tag team for a long time. They were separated into the individuals competition. Now they're back together. They're gonna get their moment together, and they're gonna win their titles at WrestleMania.
That's a good prediction.
Yeah.
Then next up we have the Cruiserweight title, Buddy Murphy against Tony Nese. I would have to give my pick for Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
I agree with you guys. Buddy Murphy's a great competitor, and he's held on that belt very proudly. He's done a great job with doing it, and I think he's going to follow through on WrestleMania.
There you go. Next up, we got the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Anybody can win that. You got Braun Strowman, you got Titus O'Neil, you got all these top superstars that are going to be fighting in this Battle Royal. You also have the Women's Battle Royal. So Naomi's looking to defend her title as the champion of the Women's Battle Royal from last year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see those two Battle Royals of who's going to win.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then now we come at an excellent fatal four-way tag team match that we all are looking forward to seeing.
Absolutely.
The Usos against Ricochet and Aleister Black versus The Bar versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev.
Oh man. Well, Aleister Black and Ricochet just lost their match now against the War Raiders at NXT. So I don't know. They're probably gonna try to redeem themselves on Sunday to try to win those titles, but I don't see them winning, guys. They're not a great pair together. They're great individually, but I don't see them winning. I think the Bar is gonna take it. I think the Bar is gonna take it.
I'm still debating on who's gonna win it because the Usos are a great tag team and the Bar is a great tag team. So I'm really debating now. Rusev and Shinsuke is a great tag team, but they're not really.
No. See, that's why I'm gonna stop you. That's when the WrestleMania history comes in, because you never know with WrestleMania. Anything can happen at WrestleMania. They can end up winning. Now, a lot of people have been doubting this tag team, but I think they can actually win. I actually think Shinsuke and Rusev can win. You never know. It's
true.
It's a nail biter because they're all great tag teams. But right now, the underdog is Shinsuke and Rusev. But the top team, to me, are the Usos.
I mean, I'm not putting them down. I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Shinsuke and Rusev are a really great tag team, but I really don't have a clue yet of which tag team is going to be the tag team that takes the victory. Because just like you said, all four of those tag teams have great passion of winning that match.
Exactly. And we're going to see. We're definitely looking forward to seeing that.
Right.
Next up, you got Baron Corbin against Kurt Angle. To me, Kurt Angle all the way.
I think
Baron Corbin might surprise you, but I don't know.
We're talking about a farewell match for a living legend right now, Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Now, I'm hearing, but I don't know how true it is also, that they're thinking about replacing Baron Corbin with John Cena.
That would be a match to see.
Yeah.
Because we all know that John Cena started his career with the match with Kurt Angle.
Exactly.
What perfect way to end Kurt Angle's career with John Cena. But we'll see. We'll see.
Well, we're going to be definitely keeping an eye on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Next, we got The Miz against Shane McMahon in a Falls Count Anywhere match. My pick, I got The Miz all the way.
The Miz has gone through a lot, you know, being a heel, being a face, being a champion, not being a champion. And, you know, he puts his life out there with the show. Now his wife is pregnant with the second child. I'm going to give this one to The Miz. I think he's deserving of this. I think he's going to take it.
What about you, Jaden?
Well, I'm going to have to give it to The Miz because Shane McMahon has been in a few fair shares of those type of matches. But The Miz is basically like a creative person. So if he was to get in a Falls Count Anywhere or just a match like that, like The Miz finds ways to beat his opponent in a really good way. So yeah, I'll give that one to The Miz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, you have the Women's Tag Team Championship. Fatal 4-way as well. Sasha Banks and Bayley, the tag team champions, against Beth Phoenix coming out of retirement and Natalya, against Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka, and also the Iconics. I would have to put my money on Nia and Tamina. What do you think?
I think I'm going to have to do Beth Phoenix and Natalya. Now, I say that because Beth Phoenix has had more experience in the ring than any of those ladies. So she'll know the gimmicks and like all of the moves they're trying to do. So I got to give that one to those two.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stand next to Jaden with this one. I think my pick is gonna be Beth Phoenix and Natalya. They're both very well deserving of that title, even though Beth Phoenix is coming out of retirement. But hey, why not come out of retirement and, you know, make the best out of it and become a champion?
Oh, right. Good. That's some bold predictions, man.
Yeah.
Next up, Samoa Joe against Rey Mysterio for the United States title. Now, we both know that Rey Mysterio is injured.
Injured, yes.
He's injured. So, but I would never put it past Rey Mysterio because
Right.
Rey Mysterio has a tendency to surprise everybody at WrestleMania, which you
Right.
saw that he also made history when he won the world title at WrestleMania 22.
Absolutely.
So, a lot of people didn't expect that. So, I would have to say Rey Mysterio. As even though he's injured, I would have to go for him.
I think with him returning, he's deserving of a title. You know, this man didn't return just to make a return and just do a couple matches and then go home. This man now needs a title. He's of age, and you know he's got a great fan base, but he deserves. I got him. I got Rey Mysterio for this one.
There you go. All right. Next, we got Bobby Lashley against the Demon King, Finn Balor.
I gotta go.
Which he is coming as the Demon King
Yes.
for the IC title. So I gotta give my pick directly to Finn Balor.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm sitting with you guys on this one. Finn Balor's gonna take this title back, and he's gonna win big with his evil persona, the Demon.
I mean, with Demon Balor releases all the anger. Demon Balor is when the real Finn Balor comes out. You know, the crazy Finn Balor. So I just gotta give it to Finn Balor.
Yeah, no, that's one to watch.
Yeah.
Also, the next match you got Triple H against Batista.
Ooh.
No holds barred, no rules, career on the line for Triple H. Like you said, this might be an end of an era for Triple H. He might not win. He might win. Pretty much every time Batista has fought him, he has not won.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? You know, Triple H did it with The Undertaker. He beat The Undertaker in Saudi Arabia. Finally.
Right.
At the main time they battled.
Right.
I have to give my pick to Triple H.
I agree. What about you, Jaden?
I really don't have a pick yet because both of these guys have had an equal fair share of getting in like no holds barred, false count anywhere, like those type of matches. But I'll give this one to Triple H because I feel like Triple H they've both had equal fair shares, but I feel like Triple H has been more in it. Like he's been more bizarre. He's been beat up more, so he has like the experience of feeling a lot of pain, like getting hit with chairs, getting through tables, getting hit with sledgehammers and all that. So
I'm looking at it more as who's a more relevant, constant individual within the company, and we all know Triple H to be one of the top executives within the company. So if he's gonna stick around for a lot more for that title, he's definitely gonna probably wrestle a little more. So I think he's gonna take this match.
All right, there you go. Next match, AJ Styles against Randy Orton. Both awesome talent, but I honestly got to give my pick to Randy Orton.
Yeah. Randy Orton's full of surprises when it comes to WrestleMania.
I like Randy Orton. I like Randy Orton as a pick, but I wouldn't sleep on AJ Styles either. It's gonna be an interesting match. Right now, I really don't have a pick.
It's gonna be a nail biter. Yeah. It's hard to pick.
Yeah. I'm use Jaden's words. It could be a nail biter.
You know, it's gonna be one to call.
Yeah.
Now, here's one match that I know my wife is looking forward to seeing: Roman Reigns against Drew McIntyre, which we also are looking to see because Drew McIntyre has come a long way.
Yeah, yes.
You know, from NXT, from being in the 3MB, which was terrible for his gimmick. And then coming back. And now with this fierce aggression he has, it's going to be tough. So I would honestly have to give it to Drew McIntyre.
I mean, this is not the same Drew McIntyre from the past. You know,
exactly.
He's completely different. But then we also got to look at Roman Reigns, who's coming back from something that was so real, that resonates with so many people of the WWE universe. So at this point now, Roman Reigns is thinking about, you know what, I'm coming back, and I'm coming back with a bang. Drew McIntyre's like, I don't care where you're coming back from. It's my turn.
I'm looking to make history and take out the big dog.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he's trying to do. You know, but that's going to be a match to see. So we're looking forward to that one. Now we talk about Daniel Bryan against Kofi Kingston.
I gotta give my pick to Kofi Kingston.
You already know my pick.
I'm going to pick Kofi Kingston, but I'm going to make a bold prediction about that. And this is going to go into the Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins match. Kofi Kingston is going to win that title. But I put my money on it that Brock Lesnar is going to take that title and take it to SmackDown. And Seth Rollins is going to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That's my prediction with those two matches right there.
Okay, well, I think for WrestleMania or the day after, the New Day is going to disband.
Yeah.
And I think there may be a time where either Kofi Kingston is going to win this belt or he won't because the New Day is going to betray him. You never know what's going to happen. When it comes to Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins, I think Brock Lesnar has wore his time out in WWE already, and I think Seth Rollins is going to slay the beast
Dude,
now.
I would be surprised if I see a turn of Paul Heyman with Seth Rollins.
I don't know. I don't think Seth Rollins should do that. Seth Rollins is better off as a
but that's what makes
face wrestler.
But that's what makes it historic when you see a surprise.
And he's done it before.
Like that at WrestleMania.
I mean, yeah, that's right. That's right.
And he's done it before with the Big Show.
Exactly. And another prediction also, you might, don't be surprised if you see Kofi Kingston align himself with Vince McMahon. You know what I mean? Making him a heel the way The Rock did it with Vince McMahon.
I mean, Vince McMahon is...
That's true.
That's true. That. Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Now, the most interesting match that everybody wants to see, and myself as a fan, Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. First time ever. Wow. This is when we're talking about history and moments at WrestleMania. For the first time ever, they're going to be main eventing WrestleMania.
Okay. So my predictions.
The segment that they did at Monday Night Raw, oh my God. Best segment
that was
I've
crazy.
seen in a long time since the Attitude Era. So
that was crazy, yeah.
It was crazy. So my prediction, Becky Lynch all the way.
Yeah, I agree. I gotta go with Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch. That is my pick. And why? Look how far she's come these past couple months between injuries and her persona, you know, going against Charlotte Flair, who was her best friend at one point. Man, Becky Lynch is going to take it.
Yeah,
Becky Lynch is going to take it. She deserves it.
It's going to be interesting. And we also, while we're talking about that, we want to mention the inductees in the Hall of Fame on Saturday.
Right.
You know, there's many that paid their dues and deserve it. I'm specifically happy with Brutus the Barber Beefcake, who I grew up watching as a kid. Also, you have Tori Wilson, that is well deserved as a female talent. We congratulate her into it. Yeah. And also with Brutus Beefcake, Hulk Hogan is going to be inducting Brutus Beefcake into the WWE Hall of Fame.
I heard,
You also have Harlem Heat. Excellent tag team. Won over 10 titles, tag team titles.
Oh.
You know, you also have the Honky Tonk Man. Greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Yeah.
You know, who Jimmy Hart, of what I heard, is going to be inducting him into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know, we got the Godfather. Look at the Godfather with his kitty. You also have, if I'm not mistaken, one of the executives at WWE that won the Warrior Award for, you know, she's very strong, will-minded.
Right.
Been with the WWE for many, many years. And she's getting the Warrior Award for achievement of what she's done in the WWE behind the scenes and helping them progress in that.
Right.
And you also talk about DX, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, X-Pac, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, Chyna, God bless her soul, God rest her soul.
Yeah.
They all made it. And Chyna was one of the people that began that women's revolution, that she was an excellent talent.
She was one of the bravest women I've ever seen to go inside.
No, she
was super
They call her, they didn't call her the eighth wonder of the world, but the ninth wonder of the world.
Ninth wonder of the world, yeah.
You know, she pretty much caused chaos.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
You know, but we're definitely going to be looking forward to WrestleMania.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
We have a WrestleMania trivia. Name that WrestleMania. The Ultimate Challenge. Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. Who won?
Warrior.
What WrestleMania?
I can't remember. I can't remember. I can't
WrestleMania
remember.
6.
WrestleMania 6?
WrestleMania 6. Macho Man Randy Savage lost to the Ultimate Warrior. Which
Right.
WrestleMania?
And you caught me off guard with these questions. I don't know. I can't remember right now. It's so much going on.
WrestleMania 7.
Okay.
Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart.
Really?
I think it was WrestleMania 12.
Yeah.
Yep, WrestleMania 12.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, Steve Austin, and the beginning of the Attitude
I
Era.
totally forgot about Mike.
Isn't that 14?
I say WrestleMania 14. Yep,
Yep,
WrestleMania
14.
14. Ric Flair says goodbye to the WWE. Which WrestleMania?
29?
You?
I think it's 20.
24. WrestleMania
Oh,
24.
Close, that's close.
Vince McMahon and Donald Trump when Vince had his head shaved.
Oh, I don't remember that one, man. I don't remember.
WrestleMania 23. Yep,
Oh,
WrestleMania
wow.
23. He was
My
close. He was close.
hair, my hair.
The Undertaker's undefeated streak ends.
29.
Yeah, I agree. 29.
WrestleMania 30.
Oh, 30.
WrestleMania 30, Brian. We went to WrestleMania 29 when he fought.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I wasn't
Man,
there.
there's been so many of them, man. I lost count.
Last one. Steve Austin and Bret Hart.
I don't remember, guys.
WrestleMania 13. Yep,
Okay.
WrestleMania
I didn't see
13.
that
There you
one.
go. All right, good
All right.
trivia, guys. Good trivia. Fist
You
bump to the
cheated.
camera. Sir, it's been a pleasure having you a guest on our show. We
Yeah,
hope it won't be the last. We know you got other pay-per-views coming up,
right.
but we really enjoyed it. Thank you, sir, and enjoy
All right.
WrestleMania this weekend. It's been a
You
pleasure.
guys too. I appreciate it. And just a spoiler alert for anybody who's watching this, we got a new WWE UK champion.
Ah,
Interesting.
interesting.
So
Okay.
just in case you guys need to watch the match. So all right,
You
guys. So
got
thank
it.
you for having me. I
You got it.
appreciate it.
No problem.
Bye.
Take care, sir. There you go, fans. That was our WrestleMania moments, our predictions, and the Hall of Fames. Tune in to WrestleMania next week to our next show. We're going to be talking about women's wrestling. Women's wrestling that transcended the business, everything you want to know. And we're going to have a special guest on the show, my wife, producer and director, who has been a big part of this show. We're very grateful for it. Yesenia de Leon. And we're looking forward to that show next week. Thank you, fans, for watching. Enjoy WrestleMania, because we are both.
Yeah.
Take care.